like, it's start from the piano is squishy. You're like, yeah.
Alright then. Chapter 4. I forgot what happens but cool. A.N. There seems to be something wrong with my account. It keeps posting the first line twice. Sorry. Also contains Naomi OC and Takata OC. Real hot. The next day, Naomi walked in the front door of the police and asked at the desk for L. The woman behind the desk was hot looking and also she was bi. Hi, I'm Naomi. I need to speak to L, she shouted urgently. Kira killed my husband and I think I know who he is. So that means you're single? The desk lady winked. Naomi was taken aback. This desk lady was coming onto her? Naomi spelled backwards as I moon, added the desk lady flirtily. I don't have time for this, said Naomi anxiously as she took the desk lady's number to call her later and maybe have sex and ran into Elle's office. Elle looked surprised. Hi, I'm Naomi. You don't know who I am, but I'm from the FBI and my husband's from the FBI, but he's also dead because he was killed by Kira and I want to hunt him down, but I think I know who he is, Naomi gasped. He replied, I think I can help you then. Please sit down, Elle replied, pointing to the chair that was covered in candy. I can't sit on that, Naomi said, because the candy was all sticky and melted and eaten. It didn't look too good either. Elle then got all the candy off the chair and picked it up and began eating it. The sight was truly one to behold as the small wrinkly ferryman began shoving bits of sugar into his mouth. Naomi thought she was going to puke, but then she stopped herself and sat on the chair that Elle had just cleaned for her. So you want to tell me something? Meanwhile, at Light's house. It was the early morning, and Light and Dark were in bed together, but only because their parents were too poor to get separate rooms. It's not like they're gay or anything. Light came all over the bed from the window of the room. Dark reached round and grabbed the cock from the table. It was 7 o'clock. When can I have my breakfast? It is already 7, and in the Shinigami world I would eat like a dozen meals by now because I am king. Please get me a blood banana, said Blood as he danced around the room. Dark laughed at the dance. It was like the ketchup song, but it was about blood, not ketchup, though Shinigami sometimes used blood as ketchup because it was blood. His mohawk was bouncing everywhere. It was like the one on Sonic the Hedgehog, but it was not blue. Dark got out of bed and put on some cloths. He kept the blood bananas in a special case because other people might eat them thinking they were not blood bananas and get a mouthful of blood banana and blood. He threw the blood banana at Blood, who immediately went down on it until there was nothing except a skin which he could eat, but didn't because they're poisonous, but not to a Shinigami. Why can't I have a blood banana? Asked Royuk sadly as he ate an apple and felt left out. He was not allowed to eat blood bananas because he was not the king and was not safe to the poisons inside them. Ellipsis, ellipsis, ellipsis. Back at the police! Kira is... Mikami! That bastardly hound! Said Light's dad, who was pretending to be English. I know he is Kira because he went on TV and he was evil, she said. You did the right thing coming to us, said Elle. Now we will kill him and put a stop to his evilness once and for all, period! Watari took his sniping gun and ran the door out. Elle followed, eating a candy bar and a coffee, and got in his helicopter and flew to Mikami's house where the action was. Naomi went back to the desk and flitted with the desk lady. Now where were we? She said as she zipped her motorcycle jacket down and led the desk lady into a quiet closet that was almost empty, except there was a mop in there and also some paint Jenner used to paint things with. They made out for a bit. There's just one thing you should know, said Naomi, getting naked as she took her jacket off and revealed this fancy suit that newsreaders wear underneath. I'm not really Naomi, I'm Takata! At Mikami's house in a helicopter! Elle turned on the sirens of the helicopter and shouted, Come out here! Come out with your hands up or I will shoot you! There was no reply, and Light's dad, dressed as Watari, shoot out a window just to show him he meant business and was not just some crazy guy on a helicopter. This is your last chance! He shouted and threw a smoke grenade into the house. Soichiro got a good shot at Mikami and killed him in the leg. There was still no reply. I will have to use stealth instead, said Al and jumped in the broken window screaming. Mikami looked up in shock. He wasn't expecting them, and certainly not the crazy boy that had jumped the window. He was holding the death note with one hand and his broken leg with the other, and it had the names of everyone he had ever killed written on it. That's how El knew it was the death note. Mikami is in trouble, shouted Blood as he smooshed another blood banana into his already smooshed up mouth. One of the things good about being king of the Shinigami is you could see all the death notes, and Blood was using it to see Mikami. If he talks, I'm dead, said Light, panicking. He knew he should have not told Mikami how to make a death note even if he was an evil. Now he would write Light's name down. Unless... Back in Mikami's house! I'm not the real Kira, shouted Mikami, who was scarred. He knew that there were laws against Kira, and if he was caught, then the jig would be up. Then who's the real Kira? Asked El. Tell us, you effing scumbag! Added Light's dad, who was holding a knife to his neck like the Joker did. He was mad with rage, and his mustache was covered in spit, and it was pretty rank, really. I'll tell you! It's Light Yaga! Then he died. What? He just died and he never told us the name! Now we'll never know who it was! El raged and punched in a wall. He was strong for his looks and made a big hole. Meanwhile, the janitor's cupboard where Takada and the desk lady were sexting. Oh god, this is so good. Moons, the desk lady. The stuff that was going on was pretty graphic, and I don't want to make this fic M, so all I say it was that it was sexy, and Takada, who was using... and Takada was using mop, but was naked. You'll have to figure out how for yourself, Raffle. Suddenly, Takada collapsed to the floor, and the desk lady started screaming. She was death-noted! Blood stopped watching the naked couple and went back to the light. Takada is dead, he said. Just as planned, evil Light pulling away his death note. OMG, to be continued!